Yo, what's up everybody, Stan Mop here, looking rough as ever, but that does not deter me from making videos. Today, an early look into UFC 287, Pereira versus Adesanya 2. Very excited for this one. Great card, like not only is the main and co-main event very good, but the rest of the card is just fire. I'm going to be going through this card pretty quickly. Like I've done the past few times, but next week I'll do a more detailed prediction video. But for now, let's just get into it. We'll start from the bottom this time, just like Meek Mill. Uh, Terrible fucking joke. I'm not even sure if that was Meek Mill, but whatever. Trey Ogden versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Good fight. This is a short notice fight because Trey Ogden was supposed to fight somebody else. That somebody else was Miguel Torres. That fight did not go through, of course. Now Trey Ogden comes in short notice against Ignacio Bahamondes, who I'm pretty sure had a fight cancelled as well. These two are going to fight at 160. Let's see, just to be sure if I am right. Yeah, oh yeah, he was supposed to fight Nicolas Motta, but Motta had to pull out due to injury, and Trey Ogden's opponent had to pull out as well. So these guys did have a full camp, both of them, but just for a different opponent. Now they're fighting at 160, probably because of Bahamondes, because he's 6'3", he's huge for lightweight. So I don't blame him, to be fair. 4-1 the last five are both of these guys. Trey Ogden had a good win in his last one against was Zellhuber, Zellhuber. And Bahamondes absolutely dominated Zhu Rong and Roosevelt Roberts. It was a year ago, which is, I don't like to see that in a young fighter. I'd like to see them be more active, but it is what it is. I'm going with Ignacio Bahamondes. I feel like his striking is much better than Trey Ogden's, and his takedown defense is good enough to stay on the feet against Ogden, because Ogden is originally a grappler, but he did beat his Zellhuber in the by just outstriking him, outjabbing him more. But Bahamondes is too good for that. Great kicks and everything, so he'll outstrike him, probably to a decision. Now, next up, we got the best fight of this card: Chris Burnett versus Chase Sherman. This is the pound for pound most skillful fight of 2023. Doesn't matter that John Jones is back, because we got Chris Beast Boy motherfucking Burnett facing Chase the Vanilla Gorilla Sherman. The best record in the UFC, 1-4 in his last five. The only guy he's ever beat is probably the worst heavyweight in the modern era of the UFC, who is Jared Vanderaa. Jared wasn't even that bad, but his fight IQ was just horrible. He was going to the ground with Alexei Olenek, but decided to stay on the feet with Chase Sherman. It's unbelievable. But Chase Sherman's fighting Chris Burnett, who's 3-2 in the UFC. I'm pretty sure, 2-2 in the UFC. He lost the decision to Boudet. Won by KO TKO twice now, so he's 2-2. I'm going with Chase Sherman. I feel like Chris Barnett was getting beat by John Filante, and Filante is ass. Filante isn't as tall as Sherman as well, so Barnett is not going to be able to throw the kicks he beat Filante with, and Jake Collier is just weird and ass as well. Although Collier dominated Chase Sherman to win, I feel like Chase Sherman is too tall and alright boxer, and he will get Chris Barnett out of there. Out of there, he'll just win by decision probably. Sam Hughes versus Jacqueline Amorim. This is a new girl in the UFC. She has done well in LFL, I suppose, but to be honest, I have no idea. Sam Hughes, though, the Shanimal, is that Sam Page? It's even worse. She beat Elise Reed, Estela Nunes, but lost to Pia Rodriguez, lost to Luana, and lost to Loma Lubimi, who are pretty good opponents. Jacqueline, I have no idea. I'm going with Sam Hughes because I feel like she's bigger. But she's like a wrestler type fighter. I have no idea To be honest, I just have no idea how good Jacqueline Amorim is. 6-0, I don't know. I'm going with Sam Hughes for no particular reason. Then we got Gerald Meerschaert versus Joseph Pfeiffer. Now we're getting to the good stuff. I'm going with Pfeiffer here. I'm going with Pfeiffer by KO. Body bags. He's a good wrestler. He's from Philly, so he's training with the guys, with the likes of Sean Brady and everything. So his BJJ is great because he is competing in BJJ as well. He's doing well. He has bombs in his hands. He knocked his first opponent out, who was Alen Amedovski, who was pound for pound maybe the worst fighter ever in the UFC. Pfeiffer, of course, put him in a body bag. And yeah, he's a better striker here, 100%. Meerschaert, he did look good in his last fight against Bruno Silva. He knocked him down on everything. Alex Pereira couldn't even do that, but I feel like Bruno Silva, just took too much damage against Pereira, so that's why Gerald was able to beat him. But I feel like Pfeiffer, much better striking, better boxing, much more power, so he'll get him out of there maybe first, maybe second round. And then we got Kelvin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. This is an underweighted fight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look at the record of Kelvin Gastelum because he's fought only killers, man. Just look at the last five. Darren Till, split decision. That was in the time when Darren Till was actually good. Jack Hermanson, heel hook. Ian Heinisch beat him. Whitaker, and then Jared Cannonier. Come on, man. This guy's only fought killers on killers on killers. And when he did fight a guy like Ian Heinisch, he dominated him over the 3 rounds. But Chris Curtis, also good striker. Just like that, Joaquin Buckley. But I feel like Kelvin Gastelum a bit too slick on the feet. He'll beat him by decision. He has a good chin as well, so he isn't getting knocked out. Chris Curtis, I feel like you can outpoint him, and Kelvin Gastelum should be able to do that. Both aren't too tall, but I feel like Kelvin Gastelum is just a better striker here. Next up, Steve Garcia versus Shailan Nurdambike. No idea why this fight is above the fight of Gastelum versus Chris Curtis, but whatever. Steve Garcia is 6 feet at 145. It's pretty tall, pretty big. Just absolutely killed the son of Ben Askren, Chase Hooper. Shailan Nurdambike he's good. He's alright on the feet. He is very good in the grappling, pretty underrated at 145. Very strong as well, it seems. Very thick. He's big for 145. Just beat Derek Minner. I don't know what happened there. Some scandals going on, but beat TJ Brown. Beat Sean Soriano. I'm going with Shailan Nurdambike. BK, I don't know. I'm going with Wolverine to beat Mean Machine Steve Garcia, because I feel like he has a better striking and he's stronger and has better wrestling as well. So I'm going with him by decision because Steve Garcia is a beast. Michelle Waterson Gomez versus Luana Pinheiro. I'm going with Michelle Waterson Gomez, although she is 1-4 in her last 5, because she lost to Joanna, lost to Esparza, who was a champion. But in my opinion, Gomez won the fight. She beat Angela Hill, lost to Marina Rodriguez, but Marina's a beast. And then she lost to Amanda Lemos, who beat Marina Rodriguez. So she's only lost to very good competition. While Luana Pinheiro, who has she fought really? She beat Sam Hughes before Randa Marcos, because she was losing the fight, by the way, from what I can remember. She was losing the fight, got illegally upkicked, and won the fight that way. Before that, nothing too crazy. So I'm going with Michelle Waterson Gomez by decision. This fight is not going to be finished. Only if Luana Pinheiro's fights like she did against Randa Marcos, which I don't see happening. In the last fight, she did well. She stayed calm, stayed composed, and won the fight that way. And I feel like that will happen, but this time she'll lose to Michelle Waterson. Now we got Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupita Godinez. Cynthia Calvillo, very, very weird one, because she moved up to 125 because the weight cut was killing her. That's what she said, at least. She was 1-4 at 125. She beat Jessica Ai, then lost to Caitlin Chukagian, which is alright. Caitlin is a beast. Josh is a beast. Andre Lee is pretty good. and Nina Nunes is not a good look. Cynthia Calvillo goes down to 115, and she's going to face Lupita Godinez, and I feel like Lupita Godinez would beat her as well. There was some weird shit happening against Angela Hill. She wasn't herself, lost the fight, but before that she was on a big streak, absolutely dominated Carnelosi, beat Loma Lugmenbi. Luana Carolina, she stepped up on 1 week's notice to go up in weight. When she was 119 pounds, she wasn't even weighing in at 125, so understandable. I'm going with Godinez against Cynthia Calvillo. Next up, Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. This is a hard one. Two guys that haven't had the best of performances lately, but I'm going with Kevin Holland. I feel like he's younger, he has a better chin, he's tough, he showed that as well. He has good cardio for 3 rounds, for 5 rounds. It's kind of meh. For 3 rounds is pretty good. Ponzinibbio, of course, mentally very strong, but at this point he was losing to Alex Morona before he landed the overhand. Holland has a better chin. He is smarter. He has more power than Morona as well. So I feel like Holland will win this one. Maybe by TKO. Maybe he'll do the same that Li Jingliang did, but I'm not sure. Next up, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. Of course, Raul Rosas very hyped up. 7-0 at 18 years of age. It's crazy. He just beat Jay Perrin, but Jay just turned out not to be too great. Although he did put up a better fight against other competition in the UFC. So Raul Rosas did do very impressively in the first round. But Christian Rodriguez, man, he looked very good against Jonathan Pierce. Weight class up, short notice. He almost submitted him at some point. It just showed that he's good on the ground as well. Of course, he's a better striker. C-Rod is going to be the better striker. Raul Rosas is going to be the better grappler. But I feel like Christian Rodriguez, like he showed against Joshua Williams, he has the ground game as well. So he's a thicker guy. He's a bit stronger, I feel like. And I think that he'll get it done. Raul Rosas is very good at 18 years old. It's phenomenal. But I feel like Rodriguez is a big talent at 135, and will show that there's levels to this. Raul Rosas wants to be champ. Thinks that he can be champ at this point, and I feel like Rodriguez is top 20, top 25, and he'll show him levels. I'm going with Christian Rodriguez. I'll go by decision, because Raul Rosas is still very good. It's going to be close, competitive, but I'm going with Rodriguez. Next up, this is an amazing fight. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. This is a possible fight of the night, even fight of the year. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez, man. Wow, this is a boxer's paradise. I'm going with Yanez. I feel like skill for skill, I feel like Rob Font is a better fighter. But his chin is just gone. Well, I don't know if it was ever there, but the chin is not good. He got rocked so many times by Aldo and by Vera as well. And it's just bad, man. Yanez has the same power in his hands. He might be losing the whole fight, but one shot can just change it all. I'm going with Yanez. I'll probably go with the decision, 29-28. Rob Font wins the first round. But after that, Yanez he's kind of a slow starter. So he'll get the reads of a Font, and he'll land. He'll be losing the second or third rounds as well, but he will land a check hook or something similar to it, and just knock him down or rock him badly and go to a decision with him. So I'm going with Adrian Yanez by decision, but very competitive. Co-main event: Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. Not the greatest of runs for Jorge. 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row against Usman, and of course Covington. He's fought the best of the best. Burns, if he fought these guys, I'm pretty sure he had the same results, only not as dominant. But Gilbert Burns, man, he's still good. Although, you know what? I feel like he could beat Colby. I feel like Burns would beat Colby, yeah. But Burns is very good. He fought a great fight against Khamzat Chimaev. Absolutely dominated Neil Magny. I'm going with Burns here. I'm going with Burns by decision. It's a 3-rounder, so I'm going by decision. Jorge has good submission defense and everything. Better striker, so Burns will not be taking crazy chances. So I'm going with Burns. I'm going with him by decision, but pretty dominant decision, I'd say 30-27. Then last but not least, Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya 2. Man, this is such a tough one. But for me, first fight 50-50, of course. Israel almost knocked him out. Pereira knocked him out in the fifth. Izzy was winning the fight. So yeah, Israel Adesanya has been working on his wrestling for what I've heard and seen. But Pereira, he's young to the game. He has more to learn, and he is learning very quickly as well. He's younger into the sport, and I feel like he's training very good, very hard. Now Teixeira has some time to train him himself. I feel like that's a big thing. I think that Pereira just will be able to stuff the takedowns easier and beat him again. Maybe KO, maybe decision, but I don't think that Adesanya will have the same success he had in the wrestling and the grappling like he had in the first fight. And that will give Pereira the reads to knock him out faster, or just rock him a few times and then beat him by decision. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I do like Izzy, but I also like Pereira. So yeah, I'm going with Pereira. I'm going with him by KO in the third round. After a dominant first round, Adesanya takes more risks, and the second does well, but gets caught on the third, like always. So I'm going with Pereira. And yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys later.